What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Quest Podcast. I am your host for the night, Remix Essence, and can't wait to get on into things here. But first, let's introduce the panel, starting off with our very special guest. He is a member of the BGST. Yo, turn your phones off, people. Of BGST, TXR, and Xbox Uncut podcasts. Please welcome TimDog.
How you doing? Pleasure to be here. Happy to be here for the episode 22 of Quest, and ready to talk some games.
For sure. And as for the rest of our panel, of course, Optimus, how you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm glad to be here tonight. Glad to have TimDog on. It's going to be a great show.
Definitely. And Sir M. Baines, man, how you doing?
Good. Again, glad to have Tim here and ready for a great show.
Definitely.
It's exactly what I said.
Well, it works. It all works. But we're going to go ahead and get on into what we have been playing for the week, starting off with you, Tim. What have you been playing, man?
Well, I think we actually have been playing this together. I've been playing strictly Friday the 13th. I've been streaming it a lot. Played it last night, played it the night before, played it last night till about 4 a.m. with the beard, yourself. Really fun game. I'm sure we're going to be talking about it, but pretty much that's it. I played a little bit of Rhyme, and it was all right. I liked it, but Friday the 13th is a lot more fun.
Nice. Yo, Baines, what have you been playing?
Finally finished up the Dead Space series, so that means I finished Dead Space 3. Another great game in the series, and then I've started up Far Cry 3, so that's what I'm playing right now.
Nice. Yeah. Optimus, man, what have you been playing?
Let me see. Persona 5. Persona 5, and more Persona 5.
I know you played a little bit of Friday the 13th. Come on.
I played a little bit of Friday the 13th, yes, on the weekend, but I definitely have to jump back in there and play that. But yeah, Persona 5 has been consuming my life. I take every word that I said bad about it. It's absolutely it's got its hooks in me, and that's not a good thing.
As far as a turn-based RPG, like, is it easy for people who don't like that style of gaming to get into it?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably get into it. I mean, I would wait until it's on sale.
Right.
If you're not into those kind of games, just to kind of see maybe if you'll like it. I would probably also buy it physical as well, just in case if it's, something that you don't like, you can just return it or whatever.
Right.
But other than that, I'm enjoying it. I bought it physical because I was afraid I was in the same boat as you, Baines, with it being turn-based, and I'm like, I usually like certain turn-based games like Final Fantasy, of course, because they do it really well. But this one, they definitely get you hooked right away with the combat and with the story and the characters and just the art style as well. It's basically like watching a 90-hour anime. Which is pretty cool.
All right. And then as for myself, I've been playing a little bit of Siege, a little bit of Injustice 2. I just started playing some Speedrunners, which has been fun. Just played some of that with Game before the podcast. And, a ton of Friday the 13th, which is going to be our first topic of the night. What are our impressions of that game? So, anybody take it away. What are your thoughts?
Well, I probably have the least to say, so let me jump on out. I haven't played the game, but I watched a bunch of streams. It seems like a very stream-friendly game. Mm-hmm. It's just not for me. Maybe if it goes on a deep sale, I'll get it, but it's just not my type of game. But as far as I think we were talking before, and Tim was saying how he's been streaming it a lot, and I know you guys streamed it because I watched you guys a couple times. But yeah, it seems fun for that. It's just not for me.
Nice. All right. Yo,
yeah, go ahead, Tim.
I actually, it's kind of like one of those games where I've never had a type of game like this where I have had almost the most, not let's say the most amount, but a lot of fun playing. But you can't recommend the game because in the state that it's in, it's really not recommended to buy because we do private matches, and even with the private matches, we're crashing. So the product itself is not working. I would say at least on the Xbox, it's. I heard that the most problems are with the Xbox, but I do enjoy the game a lot, though. But when you're playing the game and you're Jason, and you're having, like last night, we were having such an awesome experience, and then boom, connection dropped. Then we had another game, same thing. We're having a great game. Boom, connection drop. Literally played like 10 games. I would say 5 crashed, and I mean, it's disappointment. I don't know why the developers maybe don't even try Azure or just try to do better with the servers. But I mean, I know that they're doing well, believe it or not. A lot of people are buying the game, and a lot of people have returned it. But imagine if they actually had this thing working. That's what I say. If you had this working and you didn't have to worry about all the crashes, it'd be something else. But that's my feelings on it. It's an interesting game. It's fun, but I can't recommend it because of the constant issues with it.
Mm-hmm. I think they didn't atone for the consoles of people, buying this game on the console. I mean, they did definitely have betas for it on the PC, but they should have definitely had it for the consoles as well. This game definitely feels like a beta to me. Because I mean,
word on the street is that it supposedly is on the beta on Xbox.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like when we were playing it on I think Friday night or something like that, when it first came out, we didn't have too many problems, but we had Oh Snap Suckers, from the next crew over there. She had problems, trying to even log in and get on. Mm-hmm. And that was, weird and confusing because, no game has ever done that before, at least not from my knowledge. And, for them to kind of come out with this game and not have it be a full-fledged, non-beta game, multiplayer-wise, it's kind of disappointing. I still definitely want to get back into it and play it with friends and stuff before the quote unquote what do they call that?
Hype.
When the hype is gone. Yeah, when the hype is gone. So definitely want to play it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in a similar boat as Tim. I love the game. I have tons of fun. But, those connectivity issues can really ruin intense moments or, when if Jason's on your ass and then he lags out, that's kind of a bummer. Or I've had it lag out right when I'm about to escape with the car and stuff like that before. So that really sucks. And as you're talking about, a lot of people those first couple days couldn't even log into the game. And I think for the most part that's been resolved, but you still have issues where the host or Jason lags out, and that lags the entire game out, or individual people too.
Well, we know that this game was a Kickstarter. Do you guys think they this is a result of them just not expecting the outcome of this many people to be interested in the game?
But at the same time, like, it's Friday the 13th. That name is like alone. You have to expect it to sell a decent amount. And I mean, I believe they did push this game back a little bit, didn't they? Because then they were like, oh, we might have a single player, which is going to come later on. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really enjoy the game, but they need to fix these connectivity issues. And, like Tim said, you can't necessarily recommend it because it has all these issues for $40,
Right. Now, Tim, when you're playing with Remix, how crazy does he get when he plays as Jason?
I don't think he's seen me play as Jason yet.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, I know that I personally love playing as Jason. I think it's fun to just
That
be
inner cycle
Jason.
comes out, right?
Yeah. Like I mean, last time we had some really good games, the ones that did work. I don't remember him being. Were you Jason at all remixed? Or maybe you were, and then we got canceled. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was the first time Jason last night, but like, I mean, I like if they're all in a house and I I smash the power out and then I just watch them. But that was part of the problem yesterday, is that we had this awesome game. I don't know if Remix was in it, and I was Jason, and it was like so fun, and then just down it went. So, and you get a lot of people who are really upset about it, and then they trash the game, and it's like, I can't really defend the game. I have to say, you're right, because it doesn't work. But I hope they get it fixed. I don't think it's going to be it's going to be quickly that they fix it. I think it's going to take some time, but hopefully they fix it, and hopefully they add some more stuff to it, because this is the type of game that you could just keep on adding stuff. You could keep on adding.
Definitely.
Weapons, you can keep on adding, certain things, certain things that you can add in there, different characters and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a game that has a lot of potential. I don't understand why. I don't understand why one of the big three didn't get, or one of the big two, Sony thing. I mean, this is the type of game that if you saw this, you can make this exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
You would make a lot of headway with this game. I mean, look how popular it is now, and this game is basically a piece of shit. So it's like, it's like I don't know. It does hold its weight, and now you're going to start to see the clones. I think. What is the game called? Dead
by Daylight.
I mean, that's been out on PC for a while, but it's coming to console.
Well, I don't know which is first, but it looks like you're going to get these type of games, which I love. These games, great for streaming. But I love I'm kind of like, we talked about. I heard somebody talking about JRPGs with turn-based games with Persona 5. I grew up with those games, and I've seen all the game types. These new type situations, for me, are very refreshing because they're new types of gameplay. Like I never had types of games like this in a long time. Like this is a new experience for me. So I like that, but definitely has to be fleshed out.
Yeah.
When is the single player supposed to drop?
I don't know if they actually have a date on that yet.
I think it was supposed to be I think it was supposed to be this summer, but I don't think that's probably going to happen. I think they really need to go back to the drawing board and
put in that multiplayer support.
Yeah, put in that multiplayer support.
Yeah,
because I mean the connection issues really suck, but the good times are good. I think are really fun. And that's pretty much my overall wrap on the game. But
I know when we were playing it was a lot of fun. I mean, you guys were running around and watching you guys run around, and I teleport to you, and then you guys are like, "Oh no, he's right there." It's hilarious. It's funny.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and you're getting that inner psycho in on Jason. I love throwing knives at people. That's my favorite thing. Just slowly weeding them down. But moving on. Last Friday, Far Cry 5 had a reveal trailer, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that. They had a reveal trailer and a couple little trailers about some characters that you'll meet. So, what were your guys' overall impressions on it?
My impressions on this game is absolutely cannot wait to see what they do with Far Cry 5, because Far Cry Primal, Far Cry 4 was basically Far Cry 3, but in a different setting and a different villain. But Far Cry Primal kind of just brought the series down a lot, actually. And to see them kind of go back to its roots and kind of bring something to the table that they have never done before, like something that's so controversial, because this game is getting so much controversy around it, and
definitely,
and a lot of people are like scared as to they're thinking they're going to be going up against religion and stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's not like that. You're going up against somebody who is in a cult. you're going up against cult leaders
I mean,
and
there's
things like
definitely got to
that.
be a religious presence.
Yeah, there's a religious overtone here, but
Like
I mean, I think
one of
that just stands to make the story better to me. But
Yeah.
overall, I mean, it still looks like Far Cry. But
Mhm.
I think the story is what's going to bring it out. The fact that
that's
there
what I
is
was
some
saying, too.
controversy there,
Yeah, there's definitely those controversy, and there definitely is the religious overtone. But like with the preacher, he has his own little character trailer, and he's preaching. He's reciting something from the Bible, and he's basically like, "Well, if I can't be their shepherd, I'll have to be the wolf," And so he's gonna go in, probably guns a-blazing, and but I think like those character trailers really show off the story that this game is gonna have, which Far Cry has always had. I think fun gameplay and has always built a pretty good villain, but lacked a little bit on other senses of the story, and so I think this is hidden that a little bit. So I'm real excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Tim? You have any thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of like what they're doing. It's supposedly about this cult in Montana, and it's a rural America. They look like basically like hicks that like are in this crazy cult, and I think the setting is kind of it's kind of hitting at the right time kind of deal, and it definitely has a lot of overtones with it. But usually when you have games like that are that are pointing at things that are even people are talking about in America today, or shifting, or this, you see Confederate flags sometimes. Like I was driving and I was just like, what the fuck? I saw a Confederate flag, and this is in New York. I'm like, there's stuff that they're surfacing or touching that it's definitely controversial, but it definitely seems like it has it could have a really strong story and be a little bit scary, because it's what we don't want to be, but you know what I mean. There's just that there's a deep overtone there, and I think anytime you do that with video games, people will complain about it, and people will get pissed, and people will get triggered, but usually it makes for a good game, and usually it makes for a successful game too. So I do think that this is a change that they needed to make. Far Cry Primal, I played a little bit of it, but kind of been there, done that. This is like something where it's going to get you thinking, and a lot of people said, oh well, hope it's not the same thing, and this Far Cry should be this or that. But Far Cry, at least the last couple of ones, have been about the villains and about the bad guy, and this one looks like they really have nailed it. And I hope that they were at liberty to. You don't want them to go too far, but for me, I think that freedom of speech and things like that, especially in a fantasy-based thing like as video games, we should keep that in mind. You know what I mean? It's just somebody, they're making this scenario, and we shouldn't take too much from it. Obviously, it can't be going over the line, but if you're teetering and you're, you have your overtones here and there, and you have your this and that, whatever it might be. I think that's a good thing to do, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think a well story-driven game, like if it questions you, like that's also cool and interesting. Cool and interesting thing for a game to do, to question you or show you perspective or whatever the case may be, So I think that's also pretty awesome. So I'm real excited for the game. But,
I think they're being dangerous with it, but I think in a way that this is something that they could really kind of nail, and I think it's like I said, I just thinking the times. I mean, a lot of it, I don't know if this would have went too far 3 years ago, but I think now, I mean, with a lot of the shit that's happened and there's been stupid stuff that's been going on that it's kind of trying to nail that narrative or trying to at least get it talked about. So I mean, obviously, I'm excited for the game.
Yeah, and the fact that this game, it's bringing controversy, but it's touching, like what Tim said, touching on a lot of points of what's going on in our country right now.
Yeah,
and this game, I think, is going to be a testament to how far Ubisoft is willing to go with their games from now on, because they've been kind of playing it safe since Assassin's Creed. I mean, since they started, basically they've been basically playing it safe. So for them to kind of go out of their element and do something like this, let's give them a little credit. Let's see what the game's going to be like before we are too quick to judge on what the game's going to be like.
Yeah, and not to mention the setting is beautiful. Montana is a beautiful place. Lots of different diverse areas in Montana too. So I think it'll be a cool place to check out and play it, especially because probably not a lot of people actually know like what Montana looks like and stuff, or haven't been there. So I think that'll be cool and interesting as well.
And with this storyline and the aspect in which they're coming at it, they're drumming up conversation. Right, this game drops in February 2018, but we're still gonna be talking about it for a while because of that, because of the overtone and the issues that are gonna be faced within the game. So I think it's perfect by Ubisoft. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, and you're probably going to be the hero too. You're probably going to be fighting it. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to see this villain and he's going to be bad, and you're going to probably shoot him in the face in the end. You know what I mean? And that's what what I kind of find intriguing about it. But like we've all said, I think they're hitting on a lot of topics that are kind of out there today. Some of them are pathetically out there, but you know what I mean? It is what it is, and I think that. Even though we're talking about it now and we're having this deep conversation, is a testament that they nailed it already. So I think they're going to do well.
Definitely. And then another game I'm excited for. It got pushed back a couple of months. Shadow of War has been delayed until October, I believe, 10th. So what do you guys think about this delay?
I think this is for it to be closer to Scorpio.
I was going to ask that, yeah.
Because I think Scorpio's probably going to come out in November. Now that I've kind of got my head out of my ass, because I know I've been touting that it's going to come out in August, but then I was all like, that's just way too soon for them to kind of bring that out, because they have always launched their consoles in like November, anyways. I think I was just kind of going off of what the S did, what they did with the S, but I think this is a mid-gen. I think they're going to go more along the lines of what PS4 Pro did. They came out in November as well. So the Scorpio, I think this is going to be the game that's going to showcase, open world-wise, what the Scorpio is going to be capable of, and what because I mean they have marketing rights, right, with this game.
Yeah, I think so.
Microsoft does, so it's definitely going to show, what this game is going to entail and how beautiful it's going to look. And for the fact that it's coming out in October, I'm okay with it. I was hoping it was going to come out in August, but October is okay too. Because I know that there's probably going to be a few games I'm, won't be getting in October because of this game. Because I know this game's going to consume most of my time playing it.
Hey, maybe October 10th, Scorpio release date right there.
Yeah, I really think, with Microsoft having the marketing rights, and then this game came out being touted as the first real Scorpio game, right? So I'm pretty sure it's not too far-fetched to think that Microsoft had conversations with them to say, hey, let's push this back and get it released closer to the console, So I wouldn't doubt if you get an end of October release for Scorpio, or who knows, it may come out with with the game. There was some type of program that was that had to be ready before Scorpio could come out. It's called Red something. I know Rand and Jez were talking about it, and they were saying
Redstone.
that to Redstone. Okay, they were saying that to debunk the whole August release date thing, and it was said that this program is supposed to be ready in October. So to me, it all lines up for the system, the game, you know, to drop within the same month. So I wouldn't be surprised if it came out. Now, as far as Shadow of War, you know, I watched the hour-long gameplay that they had, and it's still the same issue with them. They're always showing me the same thing. So I'm somewhat worried about the game in that aspect, but I mean, I'm still going to purchase it because I enjoyed the first one so much. But like I said, they're still showing just the same thing. And maybe they don't want to show us too much more of the game, but like we discussed last week when they showed us, when we saw the open world trailer, we really didn't see an open world. So, you know, a lot remains to be seen with the game. I'm still looking forward to it, but yeah, I do think they're trying to line the release date up with that system. I'm pretty sure the game's mostly done.
It may
the game's ready to go.
It may be the same game as the last one, but this time it's going to be in 4K.
Yeah,
and have that improved revenge system or whatever.
System.
Nemesis system, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. But Lost Sphere is a retro RPG by Square Enix that's going to be coming out.
We didn't get Tim Stalls.
Oh.
No. I mean, it's okay. I think that I think it's going to release in November. I don't think this has any tie-in to Scorpio. I do think it helps the game for Scorpio because it gives a little more developmental time for it. But I heard they're a little bit through the grapevine. I've heard that they're a little bit ahead of schedule. October 24th. I don't know where I heard that date, but somebody, you know, I get a lot of DMs sometimes. I think that date, but I'm going to still say November, and you'll be getting this game if you have. Obviously, you'll be getting it first day 4K if you own it, and it's going to look really good. Developer is a big fan of Xbox.
Now, are you going to wait until Scorpio comes to get this game if it does come out in in November? Scorpion wise?
I'll probably buy it, play it. I mean, I didn't play the first one that much, but I'll probably buy it and then definitely play it a little, but definitely if I'm going to really get into it, it's going to be on Scorpio because I want to see it top quality.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm probably going to pick it up when it comes out because I don't think I'll buy Scorpio day one, but yeah. You know, college and all. I'm a poor dude. So,
we all been there.
But moving on, we'll go ahead and Lost Sphere is a retro RPG by Square Enix coming out in early 2018. So, it looked like an interesting little game. What are your thoughts? I think Optimus, did you throw that in the DM? What do you think?
I did. This game reminds me of like the old-time Final Fantasy type games, and it's also made by the same developers as I Am Setsuna. They've done that game, and that game was touted to be really well done. I never played it, but I heard it was really, really good. If you like turn-based RPGs in that style. This one kind of intrigues me more because it has that more of a Final Fantasy feel to it than I Am Setsuna did. And so that kind of intrigued me a little bit when I read the article and saw the trailer. I mean, I'm not probably going to pick it up. I'll probably wait maybe when it's on sale or something because I think when it comes out, I think it'll be like probably $20 somewhere around there. Maybe I'll wait until it's like 10, maybe during like a sale or something like that, pick it up and play it. But it definitely is, they're definitely, these games are, from this developer, they're coming out with these, games that a lot of people been wanting to have, but haven't seen in a long time. So that's a good thing. Because the top-down view has for years was the norm for RPGs and JRPGs. So to see that coming to, I think it's only what, PlayStation?
Yeah,
Switch?
PlayStation, Switch, and PC, I believe.
Right? Yeah. So that's gonna be rough for because I mean I think I Am Setsuna, didn't that come out on the Xbox?
I don't think so. I think that was just PlayStation. From what the article was saying, I believe it was just PlayStation Vita. I believe, and they're about to make a Switch version. As far as me, I'm not really interested in this type of game. I didn't play I Am Setsuna. I did read the article, so it was kind of interesting. They were saying this is a little different than turn-based. This is called active time battle system or something like that. So I guess that's supposed to be a little bit different than
the turn-based.
Yeah, the turn-based where you have to wait for a meter to build up in your player and then he can attack. So I don't know how much different that is than turn-based. So that sounded sort of intriguing, but this type of this type of indie is just not my speed. I'll pass on it.
Yeah, I haven't really seen too much on it yet, but yeah, I'll probably take a pass on it as well, unless you come to me with some good news about it, Autobus. Maybe I'll take a second look at it, but that's pretty much my opinions on it.
You're just gonna wait until I buy it so you can have game share.
Well, it's only on PlayStation anyway, so
yeah, that's true, huh?
But what about you, Tim? Any thoughts on it?
No, not really. I haven't been into it, so I don't really have that much thoughts on it, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. Well, moving on, Final Fantasy VII has been moved in-house by Square Enix. So, to start off, I think that it's probably a good thing. Maybe they'll get this thing out because I think they announced it back in E3 2015. Yeah. So it's been a little while for this game, so hopefully they, get it out in a timely manner and everything works out.
Well, they said this game, Kingdom Hearts, and was there one other? They were still like 3 years away.
Wow.
You gotta wonder.
It seems like it's been real, like you said, like you're saying, you gotta wonder.
Yeah, like what's going on over there? Isn't this the same studio that's given up? Is it Hitman?
Well, yes.
They're giving up
IO Interactive.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what's going on with these guys. So these I mean, they came out with Kingdom Hearts. I mean, people have been waiting for that for a long time. Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, and then you're still going to tell us this is 3 years away along with this game. They're saying don't even worry about seeing it at E3. Don't even think about it. So I really don't.
Sorry for interrupting, but I remember seeing Kingdom Hearts 3 at just to prove your point at 2013 E3.
See?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Here goes another 10-year development cycle, like The Last Guardian. So we'll see it someday, but who knows?
And people love Final Fantasy VII, but it's like, come on, you gotta get it while it's hot. It would have been nice if it released in a somewhat close time frame as to Final Fantasy 15, so people were like in the Final Fantasy vibe. But this game
didn't Final Fantasy 15 go through about the same thing?
It did, yes.
Yeah. So
one thing you guys got to remember is that this game is not going to be exactly like Final Fantasy 7 when the original came out.
Well, yeah, this is real time action.
This is going to be exactly like Final Fantasy 15. So they're taking the whole entire game of Final Fantasy 7 and turning it into Final Fantasy 15. Mm-hmm. So it's basically like Final Fantasy 15 with a Final Fantasy 7 skin on it and story, of course.
I mean, that's cool and all, but then they need to be smarter about when they announce.
Yeah, when they announce crap,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
You
Well,
know,
I remember that one E3 for Sony. I mean, everyone was like, "Yeah, Final Fantasy 17." You know, and I think it's still even it's still even just a console, first on console. But I mean, that was like 2015, and here we are. We have no idea when this
None.
is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. I mean, especially with Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, we've been hearing about this game for years, even before it was revealed at E3 in 2013. I mean, people have been waiting for this game for ever since the second one came out. And it's upsetting, but at the same time, it's take your time, guys. I mean, look at what Final Fantasy 15 did. That game was awesome. I still consider it probably one of my best games of last year, just because it was just so in depth with combat and things like that it pulled me in. So for them to tell us that it's going to be another probably 3 years before we see anything on this, it's fine. I mean, we got so many other games that are coming out that we shouldn't even be worried about this kind of thing, especially since finally they're putting it in house. Final Fantasy VII, putting it in house instead of it being where it was. They should have done that in the first place so they could get this game out there. But I think honestly they were really focused on Kingdom Hearts 3, and then they were like, well, we're kind of almost there with Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's bring in Final Fantasy VII so we can kind of get that on track. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I probably won't even pick up the game, but at the same time, it's kind of like get your shit together, So
yeah, because even with Kingdom Hearts 3, I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 was in that presser and saying it's going to be 3 years off too. So what the hell have they been doing?
Mm-hmm.
So both of these games are pushed back, not just one of them. So I mean, that's my only thing. But I haven't played the Kingdom Hearts series. I am going to catch up before the game drops. Apparently now I have plenty of time. But
yeah, I mean, you're good.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah.
I just think it's funny how like people just go crazy about certain things, and this is one of the things where they went crazy of Final Fantasy, 7, and then Kingdom Hearts 3. And as gamers, we all get like super hyped up, but in reality, man, we have no idea how far away. You know what I mean? Like this game could be a freaking PS5 like a PS5 first on PS5. You know what I mean? That is actually now that's a real possibility. That this is 3 years away. Exactly. And this is these are games that we've seen this generation thinking we were going to get 2 years, but that's why some of the things that Phil has done, not to change the subject, but some of the things that he preaches is that he likes to show the games now closer to release because this stuff happens. Developmentally, some of these games are some of their hell, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of transition.
I mean that absolutely makes sense for Phil to do that because, and for Microsoft and for Xbox, even PlayStation should probably start doing that too because, we're in this day and age where we want everything now. We want to know what's coming out in the next, couple of months. We don't care about what's coming out in a year or two. We care about what's coming out right now at this second, so that we can pick it up and play it and put it in our backlog. A lot of us at least. A lot of us.
And just to play devil's advocate, the other side of that is that we also want to know kind of like a roadmap. And even though you may not be able to give us a lot of days or games that's going to come out the next 6 to 12 months, at least tell us what games you're working on. You know what I'm saying? But I think PlayStation takes it too far to one extreme, and then Microsoft takes it too far to the other extreme. Yeah, because with Microsoft right now, we still don't have dates on a lot of the games that we know we think we know are coming out this year. You know, so that's the negative to that aspect of it. So, you know, it works both ways, but I guess you got to pick your poison, basically.
Definitely.
That's true. I mean, we absolutely do not know what games are coming out for this holiday season of you know, either exclusives or what's coming from the Microsoft camp, or we don't really even know what's coming from the Sony camp either. You know, we don't know if they're going to have God of War, or if they're going to, you know, I think they even announced that they were going to have it this year or something like that. But we don't know if Days Gone's coming. We don't know if, you know, The Last of Us 2. I doubt The Last of Us 2 is going to come this year, but
No,
you know,
we just know they're there. You know,
yeah, we just know that they're there, and some of these games need to start being announced, you know, or release date before E3. I feel, because, you know, I understand the whole hype around E3 and people are getting all excited and, you know, can't wait to see what's going to be there. But I think, you know, a few of these games could have been, you know, said, hey, we're coming out with this game in October or whatever. Look for the trailer at E3, you know, or something like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. That's a good point. But moving on to next on the list, Life is Strange. There's been some leaked images about a possible prequel coming out for this game. Personally, I've never played Life is Strange, but I've heard some good things about it.
How dare you?
But what are you guys' thoughts on the game, and would you be excited for a prequel?
Yeah, I'm excited for
absolutely.
it. Yeah. Go ahead, Artemis.
I'm absolutely excited.
All right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Life is Strange. The first one was really good. The only issue I may have is I don't know whether I want to play it when it first comes and play it piecemeal, or just wait till it all drops. I mean, wait till it's all out and then to get the final product. Because the way I played it was with the final product, so I was able to move from episode to episode, you know, without being stopped. So, and I liked it that way. So I don't know that I would pick it up when it first comes out, but I will definitely pick it up down the line once all of it's out. Now, this is supposed to be a prequel, so I guess this is supposed to be the beginning of the story.
It's
it's set before Rachel and Chloe part ways. It starts with them, you know, being
like BFFs and like,
you know,
the
innocent teenagers.
Oh, so yeah, that's because that's that part of the story, you know, you really didn't get to delve that deep into because Rachel was already gone. You were trying to figure out what happened to her. So that seems like it's going to be really good. Like I said, I'll probably wait until it all comes out, wait till it's all out and then pick it up. But Life is Strange was a really good game. And I didn't usually like that type of game, but I played that one because I heard so many people talking about how good it was. Mm-hmm. And I was glad I played it. It was a really good game. Really good story.
Yeah. And I believe it shows the one girl becoming like goth. Does she become goth or
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of becomes like a punk. She kind of becomes punk, you know, type girl. A rebel, you know, she's a rebel. But this game, I'm absolutely excited for. I'm so happy that they're doing another Life is Strange. I was hoping that they would maybe make a sequel, you know, or something like that. But even a prequel is good enough too. It's just going to be weird to see how they're going to do this game like they did the last one, because the last one was just so good, man. That game even had me like thinking to myself, like, what's gonna happen next, you know?
Right.
And I couldn't stop. I was just like I would lose sleep over it. I'd be like, my God, what's gonna happen next?
And one of the things that locked you in with the first one was what was her name? Her powers, how she could rewind time. So yeah. I'm kind of thinking, like, how are they what's gonna be so special in the prequel, since, you know, she is not really a part of that story as of that time, you know. So I'm wondering, like, what are they going to use to make it, because that's what really got me interested too, was her powers. She could rewind time. So we'll just have to see, I guess, what they add in for that portion of the story.
Right, because I mean, she doesn't realize she has her powers until
Right.
that one. So this is a prequel, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, I played it, and I have to say, I played, I think, the first part of it. I did not get back to it, but it definitely has. It has. I can see why it's popular, and I enjoyed playing the first part of it. I just typically, I don't like those type of. I mean, I like those type of games, but I have to be in a certain type of mood for it. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, walk around and talk to this person. That, I mean, it does have its charm, I guess, in a way. But I did play it, and it's one of those games that I want to get back into, because I did finish the first. I think it was the first section. There's 4 sections, I believe. So
Yes.
yeah, I think that it's definitely going to get a sequel because it's very popular.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go back and check it out as well, because I've heard a lot of good things. But a game coming out last day of June, it kind of asked the question, what would you do to save your loved ones? Basically, your wife dies in a car accident with you, and you kind of relive the day and you're trying to save your wife from dying, so kind of a cool game, interesting concept. We've seen kind of some movies with a similar aspect. So what do you guys think?
Was this another walking simulator type game?
No, it's not. It's definitely it's got me intrigued. If you see in the trailer, it's definitely
yeah, I saw that trailer.
It has this.
It's pretty emotional.
It has this like horror-esque, not horror, I should say thriller. It has this like thriller-esque feel to it, because you're trying to relive the day that your wife dies, over and over again, so you can save her. So that's kind of like an intriguing thing. But then, it kind of goes into the future where you're crippled and you're in your wheelchair and you're figuring out what happened, why did it happen, and I feel like I have very much. It's not going to have any voice work, I don't think. It's basically just going to be you creating the narrative. And
yeah, I think it's just like a little indie game. But
yeah,
it looks really, heartfelt and emotional, and pretty interesting. Kind of a mystery to it as well, because like you're having like this one in the trailer, you're having this wonderful day, and then you get in the car and it starts raining, and you like go in a tunnel, and there's a thunderstorm on the other end of the tunnel, and then like it just goes to like the screen which says last day of June or whatever, and you hear like a car crash, but you don't know what actually like really happened. But
right.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's gonna have any moments of walking. I think it's gonna be mostly like just almost probably even just QTE type of gameplay.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna have any.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for that.
Yeah, substantial. You're basically creating the narrative.
Okay, it kind of strikes me. That story kind of strikes me of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. There's no real narrative in that, and it was an indie game. I don't know. I guess it's something that I may look at down the line. I don't know where's the real gameplay come in that though. I mean,
I don't know if there's really been much gameplay. I think it's more of just an announcement trailer.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's what
Optimus
I'm thinking. Like, what are you gonna?
Than me.
When you're going through this day or whatever, where's the gameplay come in? What are you gonna have? What obstacles? What are you gonna have to do?
That's what we'll have to wait and see, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm making a point. That's the intriguing thing. Like you're supposed to be pushed through this emotional story. So like in Tale of Two Brothers, you went through you were going through a world and you were trying to find some medicine for your father who had gotten hurt. So you went on this kind of adventure the two brothers went on this adventure to go through to find this medicine for him, and it took you through all types of cool areas. So I'm thinking, all right, so how would they play this day out to me? And that's intriguing, you know.
And how are they going to do this over and over again without it getting boring?
Exactly.
That's intriguing.
Yeah. Well, it'd be kind of cool if it was slightly like not necessarily randomly generated, like you're in the same world, but you know, like you could like there's a pathway to do something and you try that and it fails. And then you have these other options to, you know, try and do. And so you go for these different options, but they, you know, keep on failing, you know, until at some point, you know, something has to happen at the end of the game. Either you save her or you just have to accept that there was no way to save her or whatever the case may be, however their story plays out, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see because I really enjoyed the Brothers game, you know, so and this seems like it has that type of emotional pull. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how they play it out.
What about you, Tim? Any thoughts?
Same thing. I'm wondering about the gameplay, what's going to be involved and stuff like that. You know, is it going to be a little more depth? But it's pretty much along the same lines as everyone on the panel.
All right, cool. Well,
before we move on, I want to do the little question for the giveaway. So DM me, Dark Optimus, on Twitter. For a chance to win a copy of Tekken 7 or Injustice 2. But the question for the evening to win that will be on Metacritic. According to Metacritic, what is the highest rated fighting game on that website? So I'll say it again. The highest rated fighting game on Metacritic, what is it on that website? And you can DM me and we will announce the winner at the end of the show. Okay?
Sounds good. Yeah, so Injustice 2, your choice of either Injustice 2 or Tekken 7 should be cool. I like the question you asked. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
But moving on, PlayStation Plus games for June, we got those released. The PlayStation 4 ones are Killing Floor 2 and Life is Strange. And both the Vita games come with it too. I don't know the name of the Vita games, but I feel like it's pretty good month for June, you know. Both these games are, you know, obviously we just talked a little bit about Life is Strange. A lot of people like it. Killing Floor 2, I don't know as much about, but I've seen a little bit of it here and there. It looks cool. So what are you guys' thoughts?
Killing Floor 2 looks intriguing. I'll probably play that. I mean, it's free. But I won't get Life is Strange because I already have it on both consoles, so I don't really need it again. But yeah.
Well, for me, I didn't have Life is Strange on PlayStation, so I'll probably go ahead and just add it to my library. Killing Floor 2, you know, I was interested in it. I just wasn't going to spend any money on it, or at least not any substantial amount of money. So now that it's free, you know, I'll definitely be getting that one. So it's a pretty decent month, you know, in a sea of bad months, this is a pretty decent one. So.
Yeah. For me personally, I mean, I just got the PS4 Pro. I hooked it up. I'm kind of undetermined if I'm going to go with the online service. Just because I don't know if paying for two when I'm on one more than the other, and I kind of play a lot of the single player games on, or I'm going to play a lot of single player on Pro. But I would think the Killing Floor 2, I think it's a pretty good month, to be honest. Life is Strange, as we talked about, good game, and Killing Floor 2 I've never played, but it looks a little interesting to me. So I'd say for me to get on to PSN Plus, they have to have like a game that they released that I didn't get, kind of a AAA. They sometimes do that. I've noticed Sony and also Microsoft, they have like really one big month. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on. If they have a good game where I can download, and then they'll get me for probably about a year.
Now, how are you liking that PS4 Pro since you bought it?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I have to get some games for it. I downloaded the games I originally owned, which is I gotta still down. I think I didn't download Infamous. I have Infamous though. I downloaded MLB The Show, The Order, and Bloodborne. So the thing is that what disappoints me with the Pro is that it doesn't super sample. I think that or it doesn't. With like Xbox, it adds with Scorpio they're adding 16. Texture filtering 16AF. They're adding that and they're improving the texture filtering for the original games. But I want to start to see. I mean, if there is a multi-plat that supports really good super sampling and stuff like that, I want to try that out just to see how it is. I have the Pro hooked up to a 1080p right now, so I have to say I haven't really dabbled in it too much, but they got a lot of good games that obviously I got to try out. Persona 5 I want to try out because everyone just says it's so awesome. MLB The Show, I'm going to definitely...
Oh, yeah, you definitely have to get that, man.
Yeah, I'm a big baseball. That's pretty much the reason why I got the console, because I'm such a big baseball guy, and Xbox just does not have anything in that category. I think baseball, RBI 17 was the reason why I got the Pro. I played it, and I was like, forget this. I need Cespedes.
Yeah.
I need a real baseball game, and they do that well. So, it's a good system. I'm just waiting for some of the stuff to be fleshed out. I think that they will add some of that stuff, like the system-wide, the texture filtering and system-wide super sampling. I just think that they haven't gotten around to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same place. I don't have the Plus service right now. I just buy the single-player games that are exclusive on PlayStation for the PlayStation. But because I'm always online on the Xbox with my friends and stuff. But moving on, tomorrow the Culling comes out. It's been on PC for a while. I think another great game to stream. I know we've been talking about it in our party chats the last couple of nights a little bit, TimDog. So I'll go ahead and kick it off to you. You're picking it up, right? What do you think about the game?
Which game is this?
The Culling.
Oh, the Culling. Yeah, this game I had played at E3, and that was with Jeremy Downer, and I loved it. I love that concept. I talked about this earlier, how I've kind of been with gaming since the onset, and I'm kind of like done all the type of game types with JRPG, just all the evolution and stuff. And these type games, for me, I just love that. I just love that, we could be all 8 of us or 4 of us here, and then say other 4 people, and we could all be friends, and we could have this battle royal type deal where, it's a Hunger Games type style game. When I played at E3, I liked it a lot, and I am definitely going to another game that is fun to stream. And I like games that have that social aspect where you can stream it, like Friday the 13th, talk to your viewers, get some stuff. But I have to say the Culling is a real interesting game. Now, I heard that it was popular in the PC space for a while, like really popular, like Pugby, as they call it right now. And then they ruined the game. So I'm hoping that the game, I've heard that the developers kind of like took certain things away, and they did things that fans actually were very upset about, and it kind of took a turn for the worse. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping it gets a big injection of life with Xbox, and I think that it might. I think that Xbox fans like these type of games. I've talked to people at Xbox, and I've said these are the games. I mean, the game Players Underground. I DM'd probably everyone. I'm like, you got to get this game. This game is perfect for Xbox. This is what you talk about. You say negative things, or you say how single player is going down, which might be true, and you're saying all these things, and then you're saying that these other models are emerging. Well, this is a model that is emerging, and you look at the Players Underground and how much people have taken to that. if that's on Xbox quickly, it's going to even blow up even more. So these games are I feel like they're just getting on their feet right now, and it's about to blow up. Like I think that these are perfect social experiences for Xbox and even PlayStation. I think PlayStation people, like the first time I played Ark, I was like, holy shit, this is an awesome game. I said, this game is, even though it's like kind of a different game, I said, this game is going to be a hit. And I don't know if you remember following Twitter. I was talking about it all the time. It became a hit. It came on PlayStation. Guess what? Everyone on PlayStation loved it and they bought it. So these are the games that I kind of find that are the new generation of games, whether it's the Culling, whether it's Players Underground, whether it's, even though it's a little different, Ark, these games where you can stream and you can, have this type of battle royale type game. They're really interesting.
I really enjoy Ark. I'm pretty excited about the Culling. I have to look into it a little bit more because I haven't really seen anything on it since it first came out. I watched quite a few streams of it when it first came out on PC. But besides that, yeah, I'm pretty excited, and I'm glad more of these games, Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight. I believe there's a rumor that, I don't know if it's been confirmed, that PUBG may come to Xbox. So, all those games, really interesting and cool, and I'm glad they're coming because I have an interest in those games for sure.
The only thing that I would tell the fans of the show or people listening, I would not recommend the Culling right day one. I would say get a little bit of feedback. You could follow myself or people who are actually playing it, because I have heard from numerous people that the game was really good, but they kind of porked it. They kind of they borked it, where they went into it and they changed too much, and now the community was upset. So I'll be talking about it. I don't know if Rand's going to have. I mean, Rand I think played it, but he couldn't talk about it. But I don't know if that's Rand's type of game. But for me, you can follow me, or I'll be talking about it. I'm hoping that I like it, but I'm afraid that if I don't like it, I'm just going to be back on the Friday the 13th train and just be back on that.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably be streaming it with maybe with you as well, because that's also one of the reasons I'll probably pick it up day one, is because I know you're getting it. Game Down Sites is getting it, and some of those other guys we've been playing Friday the 13th with. So
yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting day one.
Do you guys get the feeling of this game is basically Hunger Games meets Death Race type of
I don't know about
gameplay?
Death Race, but
Death Race. Well, I mean, Death Race is in the show, being so brutal and things like that. That's what I meant by Death Race. And plus, if you saw the sequel to Death Race, which was a prequel to Death Race, they kind of had something similar to that in the movie, where they fought in a battle arena, not in cars. They fought gladiator wise.
Do you guys remember the movie Running Man?
Right, Running Man, yeah.
Yeah, games like that. Yeah, I think that's a good description, to be honest, because it is brutal. There's a little bit of crafting in it, you can make your weapons, and and I just like the whole concept of it is awesome to me. But again, it's something where it's a little easier for a guy like me, or guys that we do all these podcasts and we have friends. It's great to have 8 people that what I mean, and playing it with 8 people. But for a lot of gamers, that's not possible, especially younger gamers. You can get maybe 2 or 3, you know what I mean, and then you have to play with strangers. But if you have 8 people, it really it emboldens the experience, and just that battle royale, the Hunger Games type thing. To me, just the whole concept is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and it's definitely a game that you want friends with. Just like Friday the 13th, you need friends with it. I've been in full lobbies all week with, quite a few different people coming in and out, just people I just met, friends of friends, and all that stuff. So that's kind of, how we've been filling up those lobbies. But Yeah, definitely interested in the game, and like you said, yeah, it's Hunger Games-esque, kind of scenario where you can get equipment and craft some stuff too. So
right, this game definitely gives me that, this is gonna be fun with friends feel to it. It's gonna be like Friday the 13th, like Tim said. It's gonna definitely be something that you're gonna want to play with a group of people and in a party chat, and you're just like, oh, I see Tim over there, I'm gonna kill him, or something like that. You're gonna be running around and you're gonna have a lot of fun. But am I gonna buy a day one? Probably not. Just because I think I kind of want to see what other people.
Well, you'll have it because I'll have it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, as far as myself, I watched some gameplay, and it looked pretty interesting. I was actually looking for it earlier on the store, but couldn't find it. I was talking to Remix about that. But so I'm interested to see the price of it because it seems like something I would pick up more so than Friday the 13th. Seems like something that appeals to me a little bit more than that. So depending upon the price point, I'll probably go ahead and pick this up too.
Yeah, I was actually in DMs a while back with Phil, and I'm like, "Can you play this game?" And he's like, "I'm not really into those type games where it's PvP. I'm into the more co-op type deals where you all work together." So I don't know if he's playing it, but it's just it's just be a cool type of game if you can get like 8, say, predominant podcasters or just things like that, and then just seeing streaming it and then see somebody get freaking shanked and killed, and then we all laugh about it. See, that's the glory of these new type of games in my opinion.
All I hope for is that Crap gets this game so I can kill him the whole time.
Nice.
No, just kidding, Crap.
Yo, but moving on. So we all know Crytek's been in a bit of trouble, and they're coming out with a new game called Hunt Showdown. It seems like it's going to be a 2v2 type of game, hunting down like the other people in the woods. Sounds kind of interesting, but at the same time, I don't know if these 2v2 type games are gonna be successful if that is the case. What do you guys think about the concept?
It seems pretty cool. This actually came from they announced a game sort of like this at E3. I think it was 2014, 2016, somewhere in there. But the game that they announced is supposed to be a little bit different. It was called Hunt the Gilded Age or something like that, where it was 4-player co-op, and you would go through different levels trying to fight a boss or something. And I saw some gameplay on that, and it looked pretty interesting. So I'm guessing this is a stripped down version of that game, and then they're just making it 2v2. So the only thing I have to go on is the gameplay I saw of the game that they originally thought of, which was, like I said, the Gilded Age game. That game looked really good. So as far as the looks, it seems like they have it down pat. Now, as far as the 2v2, I don't know how that's going to work. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. Right. I'll have to wait for some gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Crytek, for me, one of my favorite devs. They've seen a lot of turnover, and I'm hoping that this game, first and foremost, is usually what Crytek does, and that means it's a graphical showcase. It's like really, if it looks really good and it's a real showpiece, that's going to make me happy. But I'm worried. I'm not really worried about the two verse 2 type element. I think that it can work, but again, I think with Crytek, I'm kind of worried to see where they are after all this happened to them.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that they really push out a high quality. Listen, if the game is not the best game, but it's still that high quality. I mean, Crytek. I mean, it's just a shame. You look at games like Crysis and even Rise. These games. Definitely. You don't have these developers that push that graphical fidelity like really like Crytek try to pull. I mean, you could literally still get you could have a PC, a souped up PC, and Crysis to this day still is a not an easy game to run because of how much they put into that. And I always love that about Crytek, that they really try to push the envelope. But I'm worried that they have changed because of such turnover and like, are they using the Crytek engine? These are things that we don't know yet, or at least I don't know. I saw the trailer and it looks pretty cool. The concept to me looks like it could be successful. It could be short-lived though. But I'm hoping that Crytek at least gets back on their feet, because as for all of us as gamers, you want Crytek to be the big development, the big dev that they used to be. Because right now they're just, they're kind of floating out there. I mean, if I was Xbox, that's who I'd be calling for exclusive games. But that's another discussion. But yeah, they I'm hoping they still have the talent, to put it that way, and they still have the commitment to quality graphics that they've always seemed to have, whether it was Far Cry or Crysis or Rise. Those games, or those type of graphic fidelity pushing developers are becoming few and far between, in my opinion.
Definitely. Optimus,
I get this.
what about you?
I get this like horror-esque type of feel from this game, because the whole thing is the hunter becomes the hunted type of thing. And I'm all like, it's intriguing, but we haven't seen enough, or we don't know enough to be like, oh my gosh, I want to play this game. But just from reading the article and kind of going through the little snippet trailer, the 50-second trailer, kind of makes me feel like it might be like this 4v4 type of thing, but like teams, two against two, kind of thing. I don't know yet. I mean, we don't know too much about it, but it definitely is intriguing. I wouldn't say it's going to be a bad game as of yet, but definitely from what Tim said, it's definitely going to be a graphical marvel.
Yeah,
and it's definitely going to look great.
Like I said, you could see that it's going to be a graphical marvel if you go back and look at, because in that article they had footage of the game that this is stripped down from. Like I said, the Hunt the Gilded Age, and that game looked really good. So it's Crytek up to Crytek things. As far as the graphical fidelity of the game. I'm pretty sure they're just taking some assets out of that game to make this one. So it's gonna look phenomenal, but it's just what are the gameplay aspects gonna be like? How is that gonna play out? And that's what remains to be seen.
You could look at a game like For Honor, which is 4x4, and many people had the same questions that we have right now that we're talking about, and that game actually did pretty well. But it seemed like it was short-lived. Like a lot of people were into it for a while. It actually sold well, and then it just kind of fell off. So I'm happy to hear that you're confident that they're going to have the graphic fidelity. It does. I'm looking at the trailer. It does look pretty sick. But if they can hit that, and then they can have this 2v2 actually work out, as far, and keep it interesting, keep it fresh, they'll be back, and that'd be a huge thing.
Yep.
Well, another kind of interesting game called Alex. There's a trailer for it. That dropped. It looks pretty cool. The trailer kind of shows off quite a few different areas and enemies. But in the article, the guy said that not everything seems necessarily like very balanced, or
he basically trashed the game.
Yeah, he did kind of crash the game. He said that he liked some of the work the guys had made before. I think Gothic 1 and 2, I think, was the games that he liked by them. Yeah. But yeah, he said like the game was not balanced, like in different areas. It could feel fetch questy, or at one moment he would be killing tons of enemies, and then he would just get smashed. So I don't know how far to go off this guy's opinion, but I mean, the game, the different various areas and stuff did look pretty interesting. What were you guys' thoughts?
I mean, it looked pretty interesting. I mean, there's a bunch of gameplay, like alpha gameplay footage, and then maybe some more recent gameplay footage on YouTube. It kind of looks like a hodgepodge of different games. I don't know really how to take it right. Yeah, I really don't know how to take it right now. The combat looked kind of similar to Skyrim, so we'll just have to see. I don't know. I'll definitely be following the game because it's supposed to have an expansive open world. It's an RPG, of course. So, that always brings me in. But I mean, it just kind of looks like a mess right now. I don't even really know how to even try to garner what the story will be. I know it's coming from different factions, and then a meteor hits this world, and then it brings in some.
That's like the power source for the planet.
Yeah, and it brings in some type of, and they're all, I guess they're all trying to get to this power source or something like that. But I don't know. Like I said, it kind of looks like a mess right now. So we'll just have to see. It's supposed to drop in October, so apparently it's further along than we think. So hopefully it doesn't come out the way the gameplay footage on YouTube looks, because it's definitely going to be that article is definitely going to be right. It's probably going to be it's going to get trashed, but we'll see. Yeah.
Optimus, what about you, man?
This game looks so weird, man. Like, I'm all like, what kind of game is this? Like, I mean, I know it's THQ Nordic, and I know, those guys. I love, the Darksiders series. They fucking do a phenomenal job over there. And, of course, they're doing Darksiders 3, which I'm absolutely excited for. But what is this? What kind of game is this? This isn't like the trailer. From the trailer, what I saw, I was like, this isn't getting me interested in the game at all, because you're showing me different. You're showing me different worlds. You're showing me 3 different timelines. Well, actually 4 different timelines, and I'm all like, or 4.
And then he's like normal again. Yeah, it also seems like this is like made up, because he seems like he was in a plane crash or something, right? And you may more know about this, Baines. And then he's also in these like fantasy worlds. So I don't know.
Well, see, the problem is I don't know whether we're looking at the same person, or we're looking at he's just a different guy in the different faction, because there's I think there's 3 or 4 different factions, and they show you the gameplay from each. So I don't know. I don't think that would be the same guy. But
in the trailer, it looks like the same guy, just switching different suits of armor and environments.
I don't know if that's lazy development, though. We're getting the same character model, you know what I'm saying? Because they clearly state that there's 3 or 4 different factions, and they're showing you gameplay from each. So I don't know if he's going through each faction and then getting some of their powers and then going and then doing something else, or are they showing me? Are they just using the same character model and showing?
Well, the guy in the article said he doesn't necessarily know how the interaction between the factions and stuff will work. Right. So maybe that hasn't also been laid out yet. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like they got a lot of work to do, man. It doesn't seem like this game should be dropping in October.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at it right now. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, this game, like, I don't understand what it is, but it's from the gameplay that I saw, it kind of reminded me of Red Faction Guerrilla. I don't know if you guys ever played that game.
Yeah,
it kind of got that feeling for me. I don't know why, but then it also kind of felt like it's THQ. It's definitely a THQ game. It's definitely going to be weird and different from any of the things that they've done before. So if it comes out in October, I'd be surprised. Like Baines, there's no way.
Yeah, to me, it's it looks has an interesting concept, but the sounds from the guy, they don't know where they're at. So, well, I'll keep my eye on it, but I'll have to wait and see more of it and stuff. So, you have any other thoughts, Tim?
No, I agree with everything he says. I think an October release way too early. I think that they'll
Yeah.
even October to be in with the big boys is just I don't know.
Exactly, right? The game's going to get trashed.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that they would be better off, waiting and hopefully fleshing the game out. But I'm not really that. I'm looking, like I said, I looked at the gameplay and I was kind of laughing. I was just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. So. All right. Well, moving on. There's a rumor out there, and I guess this guy has leaked some things, so he might not be totally credible. But that From Software is making an Aztec RPG.
Bullshit.
And I kind of think bullshit as well, because this would probably replace Bloodborne 2, and I think Bloodborne 2 is the obvious choice that's going to make more money. But an Aztec environment is kind of interesting. I don't know. What were your guys' thoughts on the article?
It was interesting, but at the same time, I was like, that's total bullshit. There's no way. There's no way they're doing this type of game. I think what they're going to do is they're going to do Bloodborne 2. Go ahead, Bates.
Yeah, but I think they've already came out and said that Bloodborne 2 won't be at E3. So, I think From Software is presenting something. So I would think they are going to present a new IP. And Bloodborne, it was a hit, so they know they have that, and maybe they're trying to get somewhat out of the Souls realm, that type of dark, type.
Like Bloodborne might still come out, but maybe this game's going to come out first.
This is just a new IP.
Just another game. Yeah. And
from what I hear, this is supposed to be based on more of hand-to-hand combat instead of kind of like Absolver. Instead of
I got from the description, I got an Absolver vibe from it as well. Yeah, definitely.
Right. So it's not. I don't think it's too far fetched. I think you're probably going to see more about this at E3.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like with Sony that they, we all say, well, Bloodborne 2 is a surefire hit, and I have to agree with you, but I do think credit to Sony that they are willing to take risks, and I think that they have a real. You look at Nier Automata, you look at Bloodborne. You look at these games that came out, and Persona 5. These games 2 years ago, people would laugh at you. I mean, I was one of the people myself. I didn't think Persona 5 was going to do that well. So I think right now, Sony is doing the right thing by the developers, and they're letting them, let the creative process take over as compared to surefire. Hey, this will make money. I mean, if it was Microsoft, you bet your bottom dollar it would be Bloodborne 2 because it was a success. But,
exactly.
With this game, I think that it's believable, and I think that it could be a new IP. And guess what? People will be very excited for it because Sony and their fan base right now, is emboldened by this, by all these games that weren't doing so well for so long, and now they're doing good. Now, they kind of have that in the back pocket, and this will be a game that people will get behind. Like, I've had this conversation in regards to Xbox, like a lot of the Xbox games that kind of Phil talks about that didn't make money, whether it be single player Recore or Quantum Break or Sunset Overdrive, had a multiplayer element, or even Rise, which was single player focused. That I firmly believe that these games were really kind of results of all the bullshit that went on, the resolution of the bad pre-press, 720p for Quantum Break, 900p for Rise. It was like an Xbox stigma against them. But and those games suffer. But on the flip side, you look at the support that Bloodborne got, and all these games got, and the media behind it, and avid, like the prominent forums behind it. Everyone got behind it, and that stuff pays off. And I think that with what Sony has going on right now in this regards to that, they can take a risk. And you bet your bottom dollar the game's probably going to be a success. I mean, you're talking about 3 games this first quarter that people would have laughed at you 2 years ago if you said that they also would sell through a million or more. And guess what? They all sold 1 million. Persona was number 2 in NPD. That is, if you told me that 2 years ago, I would have laughed you off a forum. I would have laughed you off Twitter. I'd say you're on drugs. But the fact is that they have a lot of momentum in this regard, and Sony is pretty much the de facto place for that. So yes, I do think that this is possible. That is true because of just those reasons I explained. I think Sony's just like to the developer from software. They're like, hey, you want to be creative, you do that. Hey, you don't want to make Killzone, make Horizon. Hey, you want to do whatever you want, and that's kudos to Sony. I think that Microsoft could definitely learn from that. I think Phil can learn from that. That when you take chances and you let the developer have its creative process and you don't meddle too much in it, it's paying off a lot. And like I said, a lot of it had to do with Xbox One, with all the bullshit that regarded it.
Yeah, just more of a timing process.
Right, but now that you have Scorpio, you could possibly take more risks because the result is, in my opinion, going to be very positive. Scorpio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like some of those games you mentioned as well, I think they could be successful sequels, but we may not see them.
Because they won't take it. Right, they won't take the chance.
And see, what I always like to go back to is look at the first Uncharted. It wasn't that big of a success. I mean, you wouldn't have known that was going to be a huge series when that game first came out. I mean, I loved it, but I wasn't expecting another game. And then when they announced part two just blew it out the water, and then it was on from there. Microsoft needs to take a chance on one of these games and give them a sequel, because even though the first one didn't do what they thought it may have done, they don't need to be so risk averse to say that we're not going to put money into another game, because you should definitely put money into a sequel, because I'm pretty sure that one would take off. Take a Sunset Overdrive. A lot of people love that game.
I would love a sequel of Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, a sequel would probably do really well, but they're not trying to go that route. Quantum Break was a really good game. A lot of the resolution gate came in with that game, which kind of killed it in the beginning. But a sequel, you take some of the live action. I mean, the kind of the live stuff that they put in the middle. You kind of take some of that out, and you just give us a sequel. I mean, I'm pretty sure that sequel would do pretty good, because that Quantum Break was a really good game. PlayStation will take games like Gravity Rush that you don't sell a lot, and they'll give you a part 2. And people laugh and say, part 2 didn't sell, X amount of copies, but I would not be surprised to see a Gravity Rush 3. I wouldn't be surprised, because PlayStation do things like that, And so Microsoft needs to take the same tack. Don't be so risk averse. And the big difference is, Xbox is part of Microsoft, which is a bigger company, so still has to take things to a board. Sony is PlayStation, basically. They've had to divest a lot of their other assets, so that now they don't depend on that stuff. They depend on PlayStation, so they're gonna give a lot of these developers time to create, because they want to keep that portfolio nice and full the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Because they depend on PlayStation. And
definitely good points.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Great points for sure. Any wrapping up comments on this topic here?
I disagree with everything you said. They're not going to make this game. I don't believe it. I think it's going to be World War II. No, I mean, you guys have really good, valid points. I just can't see them making an Aztec, Mayan Aztec, Mexico, game. I don't know. I could see, Ubisoft doing something like this. I just can't see From Software doing something like this. Maybe they're gonna surprise me. If they do, awesome.
That's a good point.
Well, hopefully, these things are also just cleared up at E3. We're so close. So
yep.
Go ahead, Tim. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I agree 100% with what he said too. It's we all make good points. It's just a matter of, what's really going to happen. E3 is,
Right.
it looks like they're going to get another game though. I would say it's either going to be Bloodborne 2 or it's going to be that. That's good as for Sony fans. That's what they want, and that's what all fans. As Xbox guys, I wish we were just like in the position, or as an Xbox fan myself, where we're like, okay, it's going to either be Bloodborne 2 or it's going to be this Aztec.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. For us to be like
Quantum
that.
Break 2.
Because we're hoping for some sequels to some of these games that we've loved and played and are fans of. Especially, Rise, Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, all these games that have come out that we've just loved and adored. And, we're probably never going to see any sequels for any of these games.
No,
that's the sad thing.
That's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It is funny, You just sit back and laugh.
Yeah, you got to laugh. There's nothing else you can do except for laugh. Because, we're so, Sony is doing something that that they've been doing for years. They've been doing this a lot longer than the PS4 has been around. They've been pushing out games, new IPs all the time. They're always doing something. Even if it's not first party, it's second party. Like Persona is a second party game. It's not a first party game, but it goes to PlayStation because guess what? It's something that the Japanese love, and they bring it to America because they think we're going to love it too, and a lot of people love it, and
it's very successful.
It's very successful. So I wish Microsoft had the opportunity to do that as well, but I think they want to take less risks with those kind of games because they're afraid that it won't sell. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, from what I've heard from some of the people on other podcasts, they're Microsoft doesn't really need the money to for these games to sell, because they got so much money in Havoc, they got money in Mixer, they got money in so many other things, Simplegon, like Tim said, that stuff is everywhere. It's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox, it's on PC, it's on the Switch. It's everywhere. So for them to give us, if they could give us a sequel to something, please, besides just State of Decay or something like that, like Rise or Sunset Overdrive or Quantum Break 2 or something like that, just give us something, a sequel to something, because it could be, especially Rise. I love that game. Probably one of the best games I've played this generation, and it's definitely it could use a sequel, man. And I feel like the sequel could be huge, a hell of a lot better. Huge.
I think those three games you listed, those are the big three that, timing wise, with the whole resolution thing, just didn't come out at the right time. Were good games, and any of those, I think, could have a sequel and do well. But we have to live with what we get. I suppose you can always ask for something, but you never know what you'll get, and also relationships between companies as well.
Right. Well, I think that and I have done it, and sometimes people get upset with me, because I've been critical on recently about with Xbox, with the games and stuff that we're talking about, taking risks and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that we're not being listened to. So I would say that all of us here and everyone listening, if this is a concern, go directly to Phil on Twitter and say, hey, we want this. We want new games. We want new IP. Because they're going to have a platform where it's probably going to be the best platform to play. Now you need the games. You can't just have that, and you can't have game creation, because that's just it's like cutting your nose to spite your face. So my thing is that everyone here who's an Xbox fan who cares about the brand, put your foot down with this. Say, hey, give us games, because I got news for you. If they do not give us games and they become like this service-based company that's like a Steam box, and it's something that we all don't want. We want them to create new games. We want them to create big games and stuff like that. If we talk and we make it apparent and we bitch, they're gonna listen. And I think that obviously for this E3, it's not possible really to have any big changes. But I do think for next year's E3, if this is something that we're all on collectively, and we don't make excuses, because this is something that you can't make an excuse for, because like I said, I think we all want games, we want sequels, we want exclusive stuff. You gotta communicate that and hit up Phil on Twitter and tell him, and I think that we're getting to a point where they're listening and they realize that there is a thing that's growing right now for Xbox fans, where we're like, we got to have this shit. We got to have these games. This is a part of our DNA as Xbox fans, and there's no denying it isn't. I mean, some people would say they're happy with just multiplats. I mean, for me, that's not good enough. I want Quantum Break 2. I want Sunset Overdrive 2, or I want a new IP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it only makes sense for us to be that way, because I think, we as gamers, as hardcore gamers, we love games. And, for us to buy a console, for a lot of us, it's the exclusives that help us buy this console, because we're like, well, I can't get it on that console, so I'm going to buy this one instead. And that's basically why I bought my Xbox One in the first place, because Sunset Overdrive, Rise, things like that, I knew were coming down the pipeline, and I was like, ooh, I can't wait. And then all of a sudden now we're not doing any big exclusives really, and I'm just like, what's going on?
All right. Well, to wrap things up, guys, tomorrow we're going to have a Need for Speed reveal at 9 a.m. Eastern. But we'll obviously talk about that next week. But I just kind of want to ask you guys, what do you want from, the next Need for Speed game?
I want Hot Wheels like Forza. No, I want it to be like Underground. Back in the day when Underground came out, that game was so awesome. I love that game. I'm hoping that they come back and take over. Well, maybe not take over the car genre, but at least give us something to hold us off.
You want a good
game?
Yeah.
I just want something good. I want something that, I want them to bring back, police car chases, things like that. I want them to, basically do what they did back on the 360 and back on the original Xbox One, when they had, the early days of the 360 with Most Wanted and back when they did stuff on the original Xbox with Need for Speed, Underground and Underground 2. Just do something like that. I'll be good.
I pretty much want the same thing. I haven't played a Need for Speed game in forever, but the ones I did play were, that kind of cops and robber-esque vibe, cop chases and everything. I enjoy that a lot. I think it's cool. What about you, Baines?
So I've never been really interested in the series. The only racer that I am interested in is the Forza Horizon series. So I could care less, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big racer guy. I just have, some good memories of playing those old Need for Speed games, so I'd like to.
Yeah, see, I never delved into, because I wasn't a big racer. Like I said, the only racer that really got me interested was the Forza Horizon series, and that's the only series, the racing game or series, that I play, and I started that with Forza Horizon 2. So right. That I'm really just, this Forza Horizon is the only racer that I'll probably ever play, and that's it.
Even if we tout that Need for Speed, the new ones.
I
So
could
good.
care less. I'll be sitting here playing. Hey, I'll be sitting while y'all talking about that. I'll be sitting here playing.
While everybody else is playing, Need for Speed, he'll be playing 3-year-old game.
No, I'll be playing. I'll be playing Hot Wheels and Cocaine Mountain, as Caveman would say.
Nice. What about you, Tim? You have are you into Need for Speed at all? Any expectations?
You know what? I lie. I used to love the series, and I felt like I kind of fell off a little. The biggest thing for me with these games, this can even go with Forza, the lack of damage that goes on because of car manufacturers afraid to say, hey, look what happens to your car in an accident. So they kind of unfortunately got to the gaming industry, and that's why when you're hitting a car at 200 miles per hour in Forza or whatever, you'd see that use like bumper cars or GT. They could actually make real damage, and they could really like do like Burnout type stuff. Look at what happened in Burnout with the damage. So for me, it just overall, I wish that they could maybe have some type of collision system where we get some damage going, because that's something that they were really starting to do. Like you look at Forza 3, I think, and you see the damage on that, and it's like toned down in 4, and then 5, it's just like, but mechanical damage and stuff like that. I'm a real, I love that stuff. And I'm just hoping that maybe that they could do something like that. Maybe that's something they incorporated, if they're not, because I don't think that they use, car manufacturers. They may have cars that look like it, but I'm really hoping that they have something fresh here. But I kind of think it's going to be the type of the same stuff. But I used to be a big fan of the series. Kind of fell off for me. I'm kind of with the panel that where Forza, Hot Wheels, and stuff like that is awesome, and it's kind of hard to beat, and kind of raise the level so high where you look at something else and you're like, huh. But that goes for Forza and everything. I wish that they could really we can have a game where if I freaking smack up a car or I smash into a car, like things are flying off, and and I can't drive straight and stuff like that. I love that stuff, and unfortunately, the car industry really put their clamps on the video game industry and said, "Hey, you show my car, you show it. We're going to sue you. You better, you better play nice." And unfortunately, stuff like that kind of inhibits video games where, I mean, I don't really think that people are drawing that conclusion. If you smash a Volvo and you freaking, it's all over the place at 200 miles per hour, that, that's indicative of their car. So it's like a slippery slope in my opinion, but I wish that I'm hoping for something. I'm a little excited, but I'm thinking that I'm not going to be, I'm looking at it and be like, same shit.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and get on into our outros here, starting off with our very special guest, TimDog. Man, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Where can we find you?
Thank you. Pleasure being on the show. I love the fast-paced way you go about it. That's the way I think podcasts should go. You got it down to like 1 hour and 45 minutes. I think that's the perfect time. We covered a lot, so there was not a lot of long talks. But so I have to say that I'm impressed with the podcast. Very good. You can find me on Twitter, Beastfire TimDog, at Beastfire TimDog, or mixer.com/TimDog. I been streaming. Subscribe there. Probably not streaming for the next couple of nights. Maybe tomorrow I might, but with the culling. But I'm getting into streaming. I find that it's fun to do, just a little different. And I think it's growing. And I have to say, Mixer is just really impressive with the co-streaming and the stuff that goes on and how it's set up.
Yeah, I just started streaming over on Mixer as well, and I really enjoy it. Also appreciate, the remarks about the show. Optimus, man, where can we find you?
Well, first off, I want to announce the winner of the giveaway. It is Chris Hall. So Chris Hall, you won, man. Congratulations.
Nice.
Hit me up on Twitter. DM me. Let me know which game you want and which system you want it for, and we'll get that to you as soon as possible. But you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live at the same name. And TimDog, thank you so much, bro, for coming out tonight, dude. We appreciate it, man. You are absolute legend in the gaming world. So it was absolute awesome to have you on tonight.
Thank you.
But yeah, great
Pleasure.
show tonight. Take care, everyone.
All right, yo, Baines, man, where can we find you?
Hey, first of all, I want to say a big thank you to TimDog for coming through. We really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. And as for me, it's mbaines99 on PlayStation and Xbox. And you can find me here on Friday nights on Quest. And you know the rest.
It's Thursday, bro.
Well, I'm sorry, Thursday.
Still new Switch. Still new Switch. But yeah, once again, man, thanks for coming on, Tim. As for myself, you can find me, here every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, as well as on YouTube, Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, and Mixer, all Remix Essence across the board. I'll probably be streaming either some Friday the 13th or Speedrunners later tonight in about an hour or so. So check out Twitter for that. And other than that, we out, guys. Thanks for watching.
Night, everyone.
Peace. Good night.